For more reaction from the GOP side, I am joined by Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, how are you? Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back with you.
All right, you're in the room. General impressions, what'd you think?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's take this off the table as far as speeches are concerned. No one's ever accused the president of not being able to give a good speech, especially when it's written like that. The question is, what does it all mean to you and I and to all the American people? And here's the fundamental facts. We're now 3 years into his presidency. There's still no plan to save Social Security. There's still no plan to save Medicare. There's still no serious plan to reduce the national debt. And none of these things have been addressed. And there's no plans to incentivize job creators. Number two, I would say to you, I don't think that ever in modern American history have we ever seen a national leader so blatantly try to divide Americans against each other. Stand up before the country and basically say that the only way that some of us can be better off is to make other people worse off. That the only way some of us can progress is by making sure other people have less money. It's just not anything. It's not part of our heritage as a people to do that. And it's not intellectually honest. The taxes he's talking about raising when he says 30%, all the richest Americans should pay no less than 30%. Well, the richest Americans make their money from investment income, which means money they make available to other companies by investing in them, so those other companies can create middle-class jobs. Yeah. Why would we ever make it harder and discourage people from investing money in companies to create middle-class jobs? And the second thing he's not telling people is that if we raise all the taxes that he's threatening and promising to raise, it'll destroy a bunch of jobs, but it doesn't even come close to raising the kind of money we need to make a dent on this massive, now $15 trillion debt that our country has.
You know, I might take issue with you on one thing. I would agree and concede that in the past, he's given great speeches. He's inspired people. One of the things that really struck me tonight, if he's going to go out to America and travel across this country and make the case for 4 more years, I didn't get any sense at all of any grand vision that he has for the country, short of igniting these embers of class warfare. I didn't hear anything too inspiring. There's a very different Obama than 4 years ago, I'll tell you that.
Well, let me tell you, I've grown up around sports in my life, football, for example. There's these coaches that give these great locker room speeches before the game, but then you got to go out and play the game. You got to call plays, you got to block, you got to tackle.
Win.
And yeah, after going 0-7, 0-8, 0-9, after 3 losing seasons, people start tuning you out no matter how great your locker room speeches are. So locker room speeches are great, but you got to go out and play the game. This president has had 3 years into his presidency. This is not some guy that just took over. He's been in charge for 3 years. 2 of those 3 years, he could have had anything he wanted from Congress. His party controlled the House and the Senate. And what we got was a health care bill, Obamacare, that's killing jobs. What we got is he appointed a debt commission, then he ignored them. I mean, what we got is failure, and now we're all paying the price for that.
No, I would argue in many ways he was successful. He got his budgets passed. That gave us $5 trillion in debt. He got Obamacare passed. He wanted that. I mean, he pretty much did ram through his agenda. The question is, you know, it didn't fulfill the promises. And you saw great disappointment in this focus group tonight. All right, how are things looking down there in terms, things are getting pretty negative in terms of the ads and the rhetoric of Governor Romney and Newt Gingrich and this primary. What is your take about this as you sit there and watch it close up and you're watching the ads every 30 seconds?
Well, I've been a proponent of Florida having an early primary, and I think it's bearing fruit, and here's why. We Floridians understand this is a state where all the major issues, you know, you spend a lot of time in Florida. Every major issue that confronts America is present in Florida, and all of them are going to have to be addressed now in this Florida primary. And let me tell you why that's important, because as you well know, the presidency of the United States is a very, very important job. Probably the most important job in the world. So if someone in this building, you know, a legislator or whatever, makes a statement that isn't right or takes an action that perhaps isn't well thought out, you know, they get a lot of bad press coverage. But if the President of the United States does that, people could get hurt all over the world. So Floridians understand that, and they're looking at these candidates and they're saying, okay, who can lead our country? Who are we going to put in? Who are we going to make commander-in-chief of the most powerful military force in the world? Who are we going to put in charge of the largest economy in human history? And that's why I'm glad Florida plays a significant role in this primary, because Floridians understand that and are going to really focus in on that.
And I think Floridians are being unfairly punished by having their delegates cut in half as a result of this. All right, so I got to tell everybody a funny story. So you're giving a speech in Naples, Florida, and of course I'm 5 minutes late, fashionably late, and I walk in the room and you were very gracious to acknowledge that I was there. And I said, thank you, Senator. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. And at that moment, I got quite a lot of applause for that line. which leads to the obvious question. Your name is thrown around a lot. I would be very surprised if you weren't on every candidate's short list as a potential vice president. If asked, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I've answered that question so many times, I don't have anything further to add to it. How's that?
Well, this is an inside joke because I said, don't say no. Just say I'm done answering it. And
Well,
you did
I'm
really
flattered.
well with that.
Yeah.
Senator Rubio, it's always good to see you, and love it down there in your Sunshine State. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.